It's hard to say something new about the Nissan Skyline GTR. This all-wheel drive turbocharged beast is a dream car for people all over the world. But the reality is, buying one of these can turn that dream into a nightmare. Hidden rust, blown engines, swapped odometers. The US marketplace for imported JDM cars is in serious trouble. Buyers are being taken advantage of by two-faced sellers looking to make a quick buck. The worst part is, once you lose your money, there's often nothing you can do about it. In this video, I want to set you up for success and explain the dangers while I do it. The American urge to import cars that were never sold here is nothing new. In the years following World War II, GIs who had fought in Europe had a real hankering for the nimble sports cars they saw in country. Austins, Jags, MGs, no American manufacturer made anything like these. So buyers found cars in Europe, bought them for cheap, and had them shipped over. This trend was so strong it actually inspired Chevy to develop the Corvette, but that's a story for a different video. Let's fast forward a bit. Japanese automakers had a hard time attracting American buyers. Prior to the gas crisis, the big three US auto producers, GM, Ford, and Chrysler, had a secure hold on the US market. That started to change when gas prices skyrocketed. When Americans saw that Japanese automakers had more fuel-efficient technology available in their cars, that's what they wanted. Not the gas-guzzling, full-size offerings Detroit was currently cranking out. Japanese auto manufacturers were already utilizing robotic manufacturing elements, producing and installing integrated circuits, microprocessors, and microcontrollers for electronic features. In the 70s, they were clearly far ahead of the big three in terms of tech. Japanese passenger car exports were nearing 20% of Japan's total automobile production in the 1960s. The gas crisis was boosting that even further, encouraging even more expansion of brands, models, and manufacturing capacity. Pair that with the exchange rate of the Japanese yen to the US dollar at the time, and it's no surprise that passenger car exports in 1975 rose over 18 times the 100,000 that went out in 1965. This stratospheric growth, plus a second gas crisis that included gas rationing throughout the country at the end of the 70s, solidified Japan's successful takeover of the import market in the US. And as a result, Japanese automakers had an entirely new audience who are now interested in their cars. In the 80s and 90s, cultural forces like video games, anime, and magazines would introduce car nerds to tons of Japanese cars they had never seen on their roads. And like the GIs of yesteryear, these fans would soon want to have these cars that were never sold in the US. Let's start by clearing up a common misconception about the term JDM. There's a commonly held belief that JDM equates to a Japanese-produced vehicle, which is not necessarily true. JDM just means Japanese domestic market, meaning the car was sold there. A JDM car could have been built in Africa, Australia, even Italy, then sold in Japan. Heck, many USDM cars are built down in Mexico these days, for example. The popular interest in JDM cars is driven in some part due to the exclusivity of certain models only produced for sale in the Japanese market. A bit of supply and demand tug of war, wherein collectors want the cars they can't easily get their hands on. And it is truly not easy to get a true JDM vehicle. Yes, you can very easily type "buy JDM import car" into a search box and find thousands of cars to buy right now. Ask me how I know. And yes, you can easily buy them. It's importing them, making sure they're healthy cars, and then making them street legal in the US, that's the tricky part. Let's say you want to pick up this 1996 Toyota Mark II on the cheap for $2,191. Sounds like a good deal. Sure, it's got some mileage on it, but where else can you get the 1 and 2 JZ engine tucked into a comfortable ride with all-wheel drive? That sounds awesome. So you have your sights set on a car and you're ready to buy. But you could be setting yourself up for a much more expensive deal than you originally thought, as was the case with Calvin Molly's import disaster. Calvin is the owner of Molly Motor Works in Seguin, Texas. In his shop, he works on all types of JDM rides for his customers. It makes them go fast. Last year, he took delivery of his dream car, an R32 Skyline GTR. From the listing online, the car looked pretty good. The paint had been resprayed, the seller sent Calvin a video demonstrating that the car ran, and the car had some cool Nismo bits that were hard to come by, like a gauge cluster, a shift knob, and some bodywork. For a JDM fanatic on a budget like Calvin, this car was perfect. But once the car landed in the US, it became clear it was too good to be true. The turbos were destroyed, the new paint was covering up tons of Bondo and rust, and that Nismo shift knob, it was stolen. This was every import customer's nightmare. So how did it happen? Whether you buy a JDM car through a dealer in Japan or in the States, Most cars that make it here were sold through a company called USS Auto Auctions. They're a large auction company with lots all over Japan. They're one of the main hubs dealers will shop at to find cars instead of hunting down private sellers with the cars they want. The problems begin with the auction's rating system. Before USS or any other auction house buys a car, it is evaluated and then given a rating between 5 and R. 5 is the highest rating a car can get. This is like a concourse level car, absolutely no flaws whatsoever. So a car with a 4 rating is good and will probably have less than 100,000 kilometers on the odometer. That's probably safe. A car with a 2 is probably gonna be rough. This is a low grade. R is the worst rating. We're talking about totally rusted out, non-running cars that you should definitely avoid. This system seems easy enough, but unfortunately, it can be gamed pretty easily, as Calvin found out. In a lengthy video he posted last year, Calvin explained the situation and all the problems with the car. I recommend you check it out if you have the time, and if you're planning on buying an imported car, it's pretty much mandatory. Calvin explains that in the listing he saw, his car was rated as a 3, but in a previous listing, the car was in much worse shape and given a 2. He probably wouldn't have bought it if he saw that listing. Whoever bought the car the first time covered up the issues with a fresh coat of paint, got the car re-evaluated by the auction house, and then used that ratings increase to trick Calvin into thinking he was getting a better car than he was. The rating system gets even more confusing when you learn that cars involved in very minor accidents or just have body modifications are automatically given an R rating. There could be a brand new car with an aftermarket wing getting a lower rating than Calvin's R32. There are also some JDM buyer groups out there that suspect foul play, saying that shady dealers are greasing the palms to get higher ratings for cars. Granted, I don't have any proof of that, so take that with a big grain of salt. It's just so nebulous. How can you be sure of an R-rated car if you're not exactly sure why it got that ratings in the first place? So, how can you protect yourself from getting ripped off? Luckily, there are some resources out there for prospective buyers. Since most VIN checking websites in Japan are inaccessible to American buyers, outfits like Team Free Spirit have stepped in to fill the gap. They'll look into a car's history, including auctions, and might even see a car in person to make sure it's legit. Their service is how Calvin found out his car earned that 2 rating. If you're not planning on going to Japan yourself to check out a car, I highly recommend you hire someone like Team Free Spirit. The problem of dealers selling crap cars has become so widespread that entire forums have become dedicated to fighting them off. There's a group on Facebook called I Got Screwed by Shady JDM Dealers, which feature plenty of horror stories similar to what Calvin went through. There's also a bunch of positive stories as well. The group has plenty of owners who can give honest insights into dealers they've done business with, and the moderation team is super solid. I'm not gonna call anybody out in this video, but that page has no problem letting people know which dealers are legit and which are I wouldn't buy a JDM import without first consulting this group. So if you're considering buying from a dealer in the near future, do yourself a service and join this page. I apologize to the mods in advance for blowing up your group, I'm sorry. Okay, so once you've vetted the car, you now have to buy it, and that's probably the easiest this process gets. But there are sometimes conversion rates to deal with. The importer we spoke to about this said that this is where a lot of people stop and rethink. Why? Because suddenly there's lists of importers, customs documents, delivery, inspection, and registration fees. You don't just drive it off the lot. And he has even seen some fake custom papers in the past that people try to hand off. But I'm not gonna be all doom and gloom. Once you've bought the car, found a reputable import service, and had it imported and delivered for about twice the cost of the vehicle itself, then you can get it on the road. And that means dealing with your local BMV or a shortcut like AAA that can sometimes handle it. If you get a no at your registration office, it's probably because they haven't seen these documents before. You can try a different one. It will also depend on which state you're in as to how difficult it is to get the plates. Also, how expensive. Sometimes it's really worth to call around first here, find an office in your state that's aware of how to do it. But after you do though, you can get those plates on your rad new ride. It'll all be worth it. What it all comes down to, just like any other car, is doing your homework. After talking with the importer, it feels like a lot of hassle, and it can take weeks or months to get through the process. And that's where your midnight impulse purchase of an import might start to feel a little less exciting. But that's how you keep yourself safe. There are shady people out there who have no problem exploiting your nostalgia and enthusiasm for these cars in pursuit of profit. They game the auction grading system, making bad cars look appealing. Red tape and corruption exists on both sides of the pond, and big changes are needed to achieve a system that buyers can truly trust. But in the meantime, do your research and be willing to walk away. There are good people and good cars out there. You just have to ask around to find them.
Are you tired of seeing so many junk cars? Then buy this shirt and wear it every day so junk car owners know we buy junk cars. Hi, I'm Junk Car Jimmy. I want you to give me a call. Look at this car. Junk! Ooh. Now that's junk. Yeah. Best I can do is 50 bucks. So get it at donutmedia.com today. I'm Junk Car Jimmy and we'll pay you a lot of money for that junk car. Depending on the year though. Nothing too new, nothing too old. It's gotta be just right.
Thanks for watching Wheelhouse this week. This was a fun one. Big thanks to Calvin Molly for chatting with me for this video. I'm gonna leave a link to his video and channel down in the description. He seems like a really cool dude. He's a small business owner just trying to get his dream car going. So go support his channel. Follow Donut on all social media at Donut Media. Follow me at Nolan J. Sykes. Be kind. See you next time.